So I think it's time to do a little bit of tidying up. If you look at the code screen here, as you can see, things are kind of getting a little bit messy. If I zoom out, you can see it's all a bit higgledy-piggledy, and there's going to be more and more code. And so now I'm starting to think it would be nice to kind of get this tidied up a little bit. And fortunately, Scratch has a function that allows you to tidy things up pretty quickly. So if you just click anywhere in the white region of the screen, right click, I should say, then you're going to get these options here, and cleanup blocks is one of them. So I'm just going to click on cleanup blocks, and it puts everything in this nice column. So that's the simplest way to kind of tidy things up. But because I know that there's going to be more code added and I want to find things in a hurry, I like to have things a little bit tidier still. And I recommend that you do this as well. I recommend that you tidy up the code as you go every so often. Now, there are different ways of doing this, and I've done different things at different times. But I think one of my favorite ways of organizing stuff is to kind of keep the green flags at the top. So always have the green flag at the top. And then after the green flag, have the other yellow blocks. So I'm going to try and grab all these at once if it will let me. Okay, it's not letting me. So I'm just going to pull these out. So I move all these up here. And then if I just kind of click in the right area again and hit clean up blocks, he just slots them into place where I want them. So now I've got this kind of nice arrangement where it's green first, or the green flag first. Then it's all the other yellows. And then it's the reds. And then within those, I can kind of arrange things further. So I can say, well, I kind of like to have things in alphabetical order within the yellows. So L comes before R. Oops, I didn't want that. L comes before R. D comes before L. U comes after R, so that can stay. And then I just hit clean up blocks, and it's alphabetized. D, L, R, U. So what I did there is I just made sure that the ones that come alphabetically earlier are higher on the page. That's all I need to do. And then Scratch itself will take care of putting them in the column. So just arrange things so that the alphabetical ones are higher on the page. So I'll do the same thing again here. Oh, it's already done. So animate once that end game and take damage are already alphabetized. Just imagine that they weren't. Then what would I need to do? Well, I noticed that animate needs to go first. So if I put it here, that's not going to work, because when I hit clean up blocks, it was a little bit lower than endgame, so Scratch just puts it lower than endgame. So it's going to respect your ordering, whatever you do, top to bottom. It's just going to tidy it up. So what I need to do is I need to make sure that this is first. This is above endgame. So it's not above endgame, it's not above endgame, it's not above endgame. Oh, but now it's above endgame. So now if I hit clean up blocks, it's going to put it in right here. So let's see if that works. Clean up blocks, and there it goes. So the idea is always to kind of put the A's before the B's, put the A's higher on the page than the B's higher on the page than the C's, and then just hit clean up blocks, and it'll just arrange them in a neat column. So that's the first piece of tidying up that I wanted to do for this video. But now I want to do a second piece of tidying up, which is a little bit more to do with coding itself. So if you just look at this, the green flag, I'm going to zoom in on it a little bit. And you can see, if you look at this, a bunch of things that kind of got aggregated underneath this green flag. So you'll remember the green flag started off real simple. And then bit by bit, we just added more and more stuff. And now it's getting kind of complicated. And I noticed that basically the stuff that happens here, you can split into two. So there's two things going on. You've got, on the one hand, these first 4 or 5 things. Set rotation style, go to these coordinates. This is just about setting up the wizard. So this is the wizard setup here. And then this stuff over here is not about setting up the wizard anymore. It's about how to kind of run the wizard. So the wizard keeps on repeating until forever. It waits 1 second, then it checks to see if it should take any damage, and it checks to see if it should end the game, and then it just cycles back and it does that again. So this is about kind of setting up the wizard, initializing the wizard, putting the wizard in the start state, whereas this is about kind of maintaining the wizard, running through the procedure of what the wizard does throughout the game. And these are kind of two distinct functions. So what I'm going to do, just for the sake of tidiness, is I'm going to split them up. So I'm going to make a block, and I'm going to call it wizard setup, I think. So make a block, wizard setup. Okay. And that's going to be there. And then I'm going to make another block, and I'm going to call that check for damage. And I'm going to put that there. And so now all I have to do is I need to grab wizard setup here and check for damage, and put that here. And there, nothing's actually changed in the code. It's still the same as before. So when the green flag is clicked, the first thing you do is wizard setup. Well, that's just these, which is what were there before. So this is like an abbreviation for all. Wizard setup is like an abbreviation for all 5 of these things. And then the second thing it does is check for damage, which is this stuff, which is what it did underneath that before. So check for damage is just an abbreviation for this stuff. So one thing I want to do in passing, while we're doing some tidying up, is right here we have this repeat until blank. And so because there's nothing specified there, it just keeps repeating because there's no termination condition. So effectively this says repeat until forever. But there's also this thing in Scratch now where they have the forever block, which is just a little bit nicer. So this is kind of cool to learn what it does if you don't leave anything in the thing. But maybe it looks a bit prettier if we just put that in there. It does the same thing. Basically it just says loop forever. So that's kind of a bit more explicit. And now all that remains is that we've just got to put things back in their places. So let's remember what we did. We've got to put wizard setup amongst the reds. And since it's W, we want to put it at the bottom of the reds. So the reds are at the bottom. This is going to the bottom of the reds. So it's going right to the bottom. We don't need to put it in place. We just need to make sure that it's lower than T. W is lower than T. And then Scratch will do the work for us. And then similarly, check for damage. We need to bring that down to about here. So it's lower than A, but it's higher than E. And now if we just clean up blocks, that should slot everything in the right place. A for animate, C for check, E, T, W. And then it put the flag back into its place at the top. So that sorts everything out, and we're good. So I will see you in the next video. Thank you for listening, and if you find this video useful, please hit like and subscribe.